To kick off this hour, Nigerians in Lagos have called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to increase speed in the collation and final announcement of the Presidential and National Assembly election results. While speaking with Arise correspondent Oba Adeoye in Ikeja on Monday, respondents say Professor Mahmoud Yakubu and his team have not lived up to the expectations of many Nigerians. According to them, the use of the Bimodal Voters Accreditation System, or BVAS, in this election should have made the process faster than it used to be in previous elections.
What it means that INEC has been preparing for 4 years on how to connive with the ruling party. You know, to deny Nigerians their rights, to deny Nigerians what they voted for, to deny Nigerians what they clamored for. And I remember a few days ago, the INEC chairman made us understand that within a few days that the result will be declared. It won't be like the 2019 result, which took days. But from the look of things, based on the delays I'm seeing right now, declaration of the results will eventually come up by Wednesday, and which is not good for our democracy.
Starting from the outcome so far seems to be like disappointing. Before the election, we talk about the BVAS and the rest of them, and it gave us a lot of hope. It's like an alpha tech that would have resolved every electoral fraud that we've experienced over time. But looking at the whole outcome so far, it looks so discouraging, like we didn't expect that much. Then the delay is part of Nigeria process over time that we didn't expect at this stage. We've gone a long way in terms of advancement of ICT and technology that we're going to imagine how do we come this far, as in giving all the same excuses, the same reasons over a period of 5, 10, 15 years ago. Since you have seen a break in the past. So you're not supposed to arrive at this point.
This election has been prepared for about 4 years ago, and we've been hearing about all the gadgets that we're putting in place. So why are they not being proactive? They've made a lot of promises, but we are not seeing them delivering those promises. So I don't expect anything spectacular. Just like normal thing that has been happening is continuing to happen. And I don't think we can move forward with this attitude.
So far, so good. We're expecting much from INEC chairman in Abuja, because every Nigerians now, everybody's were impressed, and all our expectations in Nigeria right now. We expected new government, not the past government anymore. We cannot go back to the past. We expected new systems in every state. So I believe and I trust Yakubu Mahmoud that he can do much better.
Traders at the popular Ladikbo automobile spare parts market in Lagos refused to open shops for regular business on Monday. They say their decision was informed by the delay in the announcement of the presidential election result by the election management body INEC. According to the traders, the fear of a possible post-election violence has disrupted economic activities in the market, which is dominated by Nigerians of Igbo descent. But soldiers and policemen were on ground to forestall any breakdown of order.
Out of fear of the outcome of the election, because nobody knows what will happen yet until they might have finished, announcing the results. It's affecting business actually, because right now, at least since last week, we have nothing is happening, So even customers are not coming, So we are not happy the way the whole thing is going, because it's not supposed to be like this. They said that it's free and fair, but now look at how things is going.
Because of what we're hearing concerning the election, maybe they come attack us or something like that, make probably everybody not come out today. Because you never hear the result. That's why make people not come out, because of those what one are hearing on community. People are fearing, everybody is scaring. They wanted to come and fight with us, so that's why we refuse to open today.
Because of the situation of the country. We all came out this morning, and even right from my home, there is no movement. People are just easily can people on the street. So, but getting to this place is the same thing. So I think people are scared because of the outcome of the election. So that is the bone of contention.
I said this morning we were just coming along Atade or Mushi Road. Everybody was just running reta-sketa. Those Igbo people were just shouting that all those Agbero touts are just closing their shops. People were just asking them that why didn't they inform them before that today they should not open shop. Then all of them now came out
now started threatening them they should close shop. All those touts in Tadeyo, they were just setting they should close, and people were just running at this early morning.
Actually, it's affecting big time. It's affecting big time. And more so, the way I'm seeing things during the election time, a lot of people, they are shouting, this is not Yoruba, this is not Igbo, this is not Hausa, which is bad. This is Lagos. Lagos is for everybody. And everybody develop Lagos, not one particular tribe.
Now, having spent over 50 years in service to the country, first in the military and then in politics, Bode George considers himself as an elder statesman of Nigeria. And on that premise, he decided to raise the issue of national importance bordering on the presidential election, which just took place over the weekend. He expressed his disappointment in the electoral umpire, INEC, and in particular, the technical director, ICT, of the electoral body. Bode George insists he should be fired for taking Nigerians backwards after resorting to manual transmission of the electoral results instead of the use of BVAS. According to him, the BVAS had been test run during elections in Ekiti, Osun, Anambra and Edo state elections, which took place last year, and there was no excuse for reversing its use in the presidential election. Bode George also used the opportunity to refute allegations that the said INEC chairman, that's Mahmoud Yakubu, had visited the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate at his Ikoyi home on the eve of the elections and was later flown back to Abuja in Tinubu's private jet.
I'm hereby calling on the international community who have their observers on ground monitoring this election to rise and condemn this most self-destructive and annihilating political malfeasance being perpetrated by our INEC. In my humble opinion, INEC's reservation on BVAS is a despicable act, which is condemnable, most uncivilized, and capable of consigning Nigeria to the permanent structure of a pariah nation among the committee of civilized countries. As an elder statesman who has served Nigeria as a military general and as a prominent political officer, I hereby demand, among other things, 1, the transmission of the ongoing collation for presidential and national assembly election results must be transmitted electronically as enunciated by INEC. If they cannot do that, we should cancel the result and we redo the election when that system is working. Do I work in the control tower of the airport? Am I one of those who carry the baggage in the Keja terminal? My house to Bola's house is about 2 miles away from what would I be looking for in the dark of the hour? Looking for who goes into his house and who doesn't go to. So these are the irresponsible, thoughtless, mindless troubleshooters. Why would I say Mahmoud flew to Lagos? Am I working in talking to know when he had a flight or when he did it? And we saw him on television too. So maybe he would have become some spirit to jump through the back, and this irresponsible behavior we must continue. These kind of characters, these paid doctors working for this guy don't mean well for this country.
While his fingers continue to point to INEC officials' ineffectiveness in handling the presidential and National Assembly elections, the INEC boss, Mahmoud Yakubu, has expressed his stand in the conduct of the elections.
I think my task is very simple this afternoon. Is 1, to welcome you to the Independent National Electoral Commission, exactly 93 days to the next general election. And also to similarly extend my warm regards to the Commonwealth Secretary General Baroness Cortland, for responding to our invitation to send a team to observe our general election 2022. Recall that the Commission invited the Commonwealth, along with other international organizations, to
All right, of course, we know those statements were made by Mahmoud Yakubu last year as we were counting down to the elections. However, let's focus on the situation at hand. And to deepen this conversation, Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now in the studio. It's glad to have you. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale.
My pleasure.
Let's get into it. So many things to unpack here, but at the center of it all, BVAS, IREV, the citizens of Nigeria continue to wait for election results 48 hours after Election Day. What is your prognosis of this situation?
Well, I warned some time ago that technology, being used for elections should be tested and proven to work seamlessly. Obviously, this has not done so. Computerization, technological development is garbage in, garbage out. The computer will turn out what you have fed into it. Obviously, INEC has not tested the technology it is using. Practice makes perfect. And then the entire nation now is embarrassed. There should be spontaneity in the use of technology, immediacy. So I do not see why 3 days after the election, we are still gasping for breath to know who has won or who has lost. It is even against the Electoral Act.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the INEC chairman is going to explain it, but I admire his resilience in the face of strident criticism of the inefficiency of his institution. So I think we have to wait for his excuses, which are not forthcoming, because he's adamant the results must be announced. To me, I would want the results to be announced the way it is, because you can't throw away the baby with the bathwater. To stop the election now, you create more havoc than having the results announced, and then people can seek redress on whatever grounds they want. The opportunity cost of stopping the election here now is far greater in terms of gravity, in terms of harm to the political system, than in having the elections announced. So I would rather wait for the process to go through, let them bungle through, and then legally people can seek redress in the courts.
Mr. Sobowale, to clear things up, is it the technology or the human error, or the human element of this? Because you use the analogy of garbage in, garbage out. So literally, what you put in is So, but I mean, to simplify this for everybody, you're just using the machine to upload data. We before the show, we take pictures on air and post it on Twitter or post it on WhatsApp. Isn't that what we're talking about here? Just what somebody a vote was cast. You take you show an image of what was cast and then upload it to the system. Yes. And INEC came out and said, "Oh, there's problems uploading." This is a pretty simple, straightforward process, is it? No. So are we blaming the technology or the human element behind it? Is what I want to.
It's both. It's both.
Okay.
The technology does not exist in isolation. You have to train somebody to use it. That person has to be proficient in the training to be able to use it. Otherwise, it will be a failure of both the human element and the technology itself. Technology is to enhance service delivery, the speed and quality, and integrity. On all fronts now, since the election result was not posted as at when due, that purpose has not been achieved.
So isn't that the suspicion of foul play then? If there's a delay between the time when
it's a time of I've spoken of the human element.
Yes.
If people are not well trained to use the technology, it's not the fault of the technology.
Right. Okay.
Although the human element
is there,
inefficiency is there.
Yeah.
But the service delivery, if the machine works as it is supposed to do, it will be efficient in terms of speed and service delivery, and that is its functionality. and everybody will be happy. We could have had the election result 2-3 days ago. But this is Nigeria. People want to join the bandwagon of efficient nations all over the world. But we don't have power. We don't have basics. We have so many basic things.
Right.
And then even we don't prepare, you could see, even on the eve of the election, you see them uploading INEC equipment in some state capitals when they are going to be taken by road miles, hundreds of miles to see how can they do that? You could see from the logistics that something was wrong.
Yeah.
So this is bad management. And you see, the INEC chairman cannot escape any blame because this is the second election. So there's no blame. I don't know why he looks so complacent and so satisfied. But that is the nature of Nigerian leaders. In the face of indolence and inefficiency, they still look as if they are doing the best job in the world.
Mr. Sobowale,
yes,
when you said he looks complacent, it brought a little bit of joy to my soul because I don't understand the INEC chairman's body language, what we've been seeing lately. I remember when the Collation Center was being, launched. I think that was over the weekend. And he said that when it's for collation, that will be done, that center. And when it's time to address, the nation or the media, it will be done in a separate location. Since that announcement was made up until now, unless I missed a broadcast, I have not seen the INEC chairman address the nation. And we have so many issues that need to be addressed. When we even spoke to Ambassador Mark Green yesterday, he made mention that communication is key. We've not seen that. And there's so much room for speculation. So I'm just wondering right now, you're saying people we should wait and be patient, respect the process, and then probably seek redress in court. There's so much distrust between the electorate and the electoral body, even when it comes to the security operatives and even the judicial system or the legal system. Yes. So what is the bone of contention that even if people are patient or wait it out, that justice will in fact prevail if there were actual issues as what it looks like?
Nigerian politicians. You should know Nigerian politicians. They all knew this would happen. They all knew there will be itches in the use of this technology because they know the nature of the country. Get me? But the results, when it did not favor some people, they started to foment trouble. You look at it from two sides. APC came out and said, they are not complaining about what happened in Lagos, so nobody should complain when they eventually win their own.
Right.
Which means they are sure something was in the offing
right.
for them. Now Milaye and the others are saying the heavens will fall. You get me? If they did not stop the thing. Because they have seen the handwriting on the wall. Yeah. So you have to balance these views. You can't have it both ways. You can't eat your cake and still have it. So let's see the whole thing through.
Mr.
The heavens will not fall.
On that, I'm glad you're talking about the fallout, the way various parties are reacting. And I'd love to refer back to the Electoral Act on this, because the joy of this document is that it does look at all scenarios. Right. Section 47, subsection 3, reads, where a smart card reader or any other technological device deployed for accreditation of voters fails to function in any unit and a fresh card reader or technological device is not deployed, the election in that unit shall be cancelled and another election shall be scheduled within 24 hours if the Commission is satisfied that the result of the election in that polling unit will substantially affect the final result of the whole election and declaration of winner in the constituency concerned. Now, I know this is focusing on accreditation of voters and BVAS. However, if BVAS says that there's a failure in technology used for the particular BVAS process, we know that IREV is the one that uploads onto. So different technologies, not sure if they are different devices. I think we need somebody from INEC to clarify that. But the Constitution clearly states that if we feel that election will affect the outcome of the overall results, then it should be cancelled and rescheduled. So where are we missing? Where are the gray areas? Because it seems the Electoral Act is pretty straightforward about what needs to happen when technology fails.
But if you look at the way the resident electoral commissioners bringing their results, they will announce registered voters, those who voted. The INEC chairman will ask them any issues, then they will mention this sort of thing you have just mentioned, and then you go on. But you see, those involved are the best brains in the land, professors from the universities. You will expect them that if they were in their school, if their students were doing the sort of things they are overseeing, they would have punished them. Get me? But on the political scene, they look eminently happy to do this job, for which their educational reputation will suffer seriously. You get me? Go and look at the list of resident electors. They are professors, vice chancellors. So you are not talking of ignoramuses or uneducated people. You have the best brains of the land involved in this thing. So cannot just throw away what they are putting down. That is why we must see the process through. That is the nature of our political environment.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you make of outsourcing this exercise away from INEC? And the counterpoint to that has been, if you outsource it to, say, a private consulting company, and then people don't like the results, they'll say the company is compromised itself. So but let me just deal with INEC itself. If we continue to have these problems again and again and again, sir, Mr. Sobowale, do you think this exercise, since it is a logistics exercise, should it be outsourced? INEC can be trusted, they're not competent.
Outsource a skill you don't have.
Right.
But I won't say we don't have that skill. We have the best brains in information technology in Nigeria, all over the world.
But we're not getting it right.
It is our environment. Something must be wrong. Something must be very wrong. The attitude is wrong. You see, the preparations are wrong. The plans are wrong. And we all knew it all along. Look at the last election. See the way this INEC bungled. Somebody was saying on television that if they had punished all those involved that time as a deterrence, we will sit up. But it is a repetition of the same bungling that we have now. Again, I say it is garbage in, garbage out. So I won't say we should stew in our own urine, but we are getting what we have on offer.
Yeah.
Sobowale, your analogies are so...
Best analogies ever.
Sorry about that.
I never had stew in our own urine before, but thank you for that. I've made a mental note.
We actually have someone joining us from Paul James from Yaga Africa is also joining us from our Abuja studios. Mr. James, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you can hear us clearly. So, I mean, I think you heard Mr. Sobowale and his take on what's going on. How do we get past this deterrence to make INEC more efficient in the future? If you can't outsource these services, what do you do? Is it the punishment that is lacking? I want to get your take on this, Mr. James.
Well, I don't know whether to start by saying whether ignorance or arrogance on the part of INEC. You don't start planning for election just on the eve of the election. For me, election planning starts on the day you finish one round of election. Like, we were supposed to have started planning for this since 2019, which I thought was what INEC was doing, because at every point it was updating Nigeria as to the level of progress and the kind of innovation that it wanted to introduce in the 2023 elections. We recalled at some point INEC met with Union of Road Transport Workers, and INEC different bilaterals, especially around how to manage logistics, even with the international or support agencies that I'm aware of. Sometimes in December last year, there was a meeting that I held in Lagos to discuss how to manage the election day logistics. Now, if you recall also, there was an attempt actually last week to commence early deployment of this logistics from the CBN headquarters, state headquarters, to the INEC racks, which started from Wednesday in some of the big states and Thursday in other states. At Yaga Africa, we deploy observers, and they did confirm that this deployment actually happened. What happened is the perennial concerns we have been seeing, the connect between the racks and also the deployment to polling units. This time, of course, they could blame it on the Naira crisis and all of that. In fact, even in Abuja, on the eve of the election, we saw the signs that election could potentially be delayed because in the Buhari area, for instance, our observers went on ground to interface with the INEC officials there, and they did raise concerns about logistics, which could impact on deployment on election day. So this, I think, could be more of an internal thing that INEC will need to deal with. I think they were able to deal with a bigger monster of moving the logistics closer to the locations. If you recall, last time in 2019, election was delayed because on the eve of the election, INEC was still moving logistics, not even within the country, expecting logistics to come from abroad. And then we know INEC, some senior INEC officials were running to the airports to be able to shift this thing to the states. And then at the end, what happened? Logistics for some states ended up in another state. So whilst they're trying to do with the early deployment this time, what I think happened is an internal processes that INEC also need to improve upon.
Well, Paul, thank you for that. I remember Bimbai and I interviewed you earlier on, and that was after the mock accreditation. And one of the things that we highlighted, we looked at your recommendations and we looked at basically your observations. When you saw what happened on election day or over the weekend, and you looked at the recommendations that you made, did you get a sense that any of the recommendations were adhered to even in the least? Or did you just see it as a repeat of history? Because we still saw late arrivals amongst others.
Okay, I think he's having an issue with here. Yeah, he's not able to hear.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, can you confirm that you can...
Yeah, well, I think we
Paul?
can get through a question to Mr. Sobowale, so while we're getting Paul.
No, it has to be Paul. Can we hear Paul, or do we have can I just come to you?
To get back to him.
Yeah, Mr. Sobowale.
Okay, so Mr. Sobowale,
Yes,
we'll get back to Paul as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But the Collation Center, they're supposed to resume activities at about 2 p.m. today, and we've heard from spokespersons of some of the parties that they would essentially be boycotting the process because they feel that it's not been free, fair, and credible or transparent. I'm just wondering if you think that this is a gesture that will be taken seriously by the INEC chairman.
Well, they walked out yesterday. Mm-hmm. I think 4 of them.
Yes.
But some still remained. Mm-hmm. And when they resumed, they pledged allegiance to the system. So that would have given the INEC chairman confidence to continue. And really, if people walk out, you're abandoning the system.
All right.
No.
On that note, I'm just going to ask you to please hold your thoughts, Mr. Sobowale. We're trying to keep up with events as they unfold. We're going to cross live to Delta State at the Collation Center, the State Collation Center in Asaba.
3122 NNPP 3122 NRM 988 NRM 988 PDP 161600 PDP 161600 PRP 342 PRP 342 SDP 3071 SDP 3071 YPP 605 YPP 605 ZLP 3324 ZLP 3324 Total valid votes 615341. Total valid votes 615341. Rejected votes 39309. Rejected votes 39309. Total votes cast 654650. Total votes cast 654650. Thank you very much. Party agents, please, you come on and sign the results. Thank you. Party agents, please come and sign the results. Party agents, please. They can sign here. Or they can come here. Please come here. Party agents, come up stage, up stage. Up stage. LP. Party AA. Okay. No, anyone that can sign, yes. LP. Sign. You will sign the two. Please sign the other two. Remove the other one. Derek. Thank you. LP. No? Okay. You are right. Sorry. Now we just be careful so that no mistake is out spoil any results. Yes? Thank you. Alright. Next party? SDP. But SDP, yes. Sign on that one too. SDP. Wait, yes, sign. Next party? Which party? NPP. Yes, sign. And then sign again the other one. Next party agent?
Yes, I will sign. It is a very credible.
Where is okay, is here. I was looking for America now.
Congratulations, sir.
Which party?
APC.
APC. All right, okay.
It's a credible exercise. Yeah. Transparent. So I will sign.
APC. All right.
So congratulations.
APC. Thank you very much. APC sign again too. Next party. Okay. That's NRM. Yes. Rescue. Okay. NRM. Thank you. Any other party agents? Done? Complete?
Any party agents?
Any other party agents? No.
Okay, no.
The party agents, which are signing off on the results in Delta State. We didn't catch the winner. We only just caught when they were announcing the results, the PDP figure of 161,000. But we do know Labour was leading at around 58% of the vote earlier. So we'll get the full results. But Mr. Sobowale, while the agents are signing, I want to ask you about this particular point. The rebuttal to the parties that walked out of the International Collation Center yesterday was that your polling agents signed off on the results. So why is a Dino Melaye or another party representative complaining in front of the chair of INEC when their respective polling agents all signed off on the respective results in the different states? With this action we're seeing right now on screen, your polling agents signed off, so why are you now coming to the International Collation Center to complain that there was funny business? What's your response to that?
Mischief and hypocrisy. Get it? They all have the results.
Yes.
All the parties, through their agents, they can collate, but the law does not allow them to announce. It's only INEC that can announce.
Yeah.
Get it? What they are saying is that what they have on hand, have been transmitted or displayed, like you said, somewhere, but it has not been displayed. But they cannot deny that they know the results. They can collate. They know where they have won, where they have lost. So shouting, saying that the process has been compromised is like shouting woof when there is none.
Yeah.
They know what happened.
Well, Paul James, I understand we still have, thank you, Mr. Sobowale, by the way. Paul James from Yaga, I understand you're still with us. And I was asking you earlier, because when we spoke with you during the mock accreditation, we looked at your recommendations and your observations. And I was asking that when you observed what played out on February 25th and afterwards, do you get a sense that any of those recommendations were implemented? Because from an observer's point of view, it looks as though history simply repeated itself.
So I don't think it was fully implemented. Some of the concerns we have raised from the mock accreditation was the fact that we thought it was happening, or it happened close to the election. It happened 20 days to the election, and that the people or the personnel that were supposed to apply the beavers or use the beavers for the process did not get the chance to get the hands-on experience of how to use the beavers. I would not be surprised that some of these INEC officials were seeing the beavers for the first time on election day. Reason being, for instance, in states like Kano, we got a report or an observer called our data center on the morning of the election to say an INEC official had asked them to come and help them operate the beavers. And we had provided clear communication to the observers to not interfere in the process, because for us, for observation is 3 points. You observe, you document, you report. Report to us as the leaders here in Abuja, and then we can engage with the appropriate authorities. So that, for me, brings to fore the concerns that could training have been effective in the application or management of the beavers. But let us also go back even before the mock accreditation to when INEC deployed these devices to the state offices. The last consignment was dispatched on the 3rd of January. Between January 4th and January 11th, INEC claimed to have tested these devices in the state offices. This was not a public activity. INEC claimed also that it was their routine internal process and did not open it to the public, did not also allow observers the opportunity to observe the process of testing these devices. About 181,000 devices were deployed to the state. We had the opportunity in about 14 states to have a sense of how INEC was testing the devices. They were supposed to connect these devices to the internet. They were supposed to update the part of the upload, that is the IRF part, the part of the also application for checking voter biometrics. They were also supposed to upload a Chrome application on the devices. The reports we got over a 4-day period that we deployed to observe were the concerns, the consistent complaint about the devices not connecting to network. In Edo State, for instance, there was a report that the devices that were supplied to this state were short by 40. Kwara State complained also that there were no backup devices. We approached INEC with this report. INEC was even surprised how we were able to get some of this report, what they thought were for their internal use. But again, this is something that I thought at that point, if INEC had been open and honest with Nigerians, wherever there are challenges, Nigerians will know. Especially for me, it is best that we had managed expectations before we get into this exercise. If you recall also for the mock accreditation, to a large extent, based on what we saw, the devices worked. For instance, in 74% of locations that we deployed observers, it took an average of 2 minutes to process a voter using the device. There were attempts from 16 states to upload like a bogus election results to the online server, which also worked. But how many devices were used if you think also that this was also conducted in 436 locations? Now, beyond that is the call on INEC at that point to provide report or update of how it has been able to ensure that all of these devices were connected to the internet, which we didn't get. In December, we had some meetings with some high-ranking officials in INEC, and we asked the questions especially around whether they had increased the bandwidth for the online application that will collect the results and all of that. And we were assured that everything is okay, everything is sorted. Every time what we keep getting from INEC is, it is okay, we are ready, we are ready, we are ready. We are all humans, and we understand the human elements of this sort of heavy deployments. And like I will keep saying, it is better that we have this prior communication from INEC so that we'll know how to manage this crisis when they happen. INEC is always reactive and not proactive. And for me, that is the biggest concern when it comes to engagement with the Commission.
Thank you for those insights, Paul James. I'd like to bring the conversation back into studio with Mr. Sobowale. It seems that the majority are speaking with one voice, which is that there is a lack of several things, a lack of a seamless, fair, smooth, credible process. Now, I know your stance at the moment is that we should see it through. Here's my question to you. If it was not a level playing field, why should we allow Nigerians to drink from a poisoned well?
Well, I don't see it as a poison well. Or even if it is poison, we poison it anyway. Maybe we deserve what... See, you can't get...
Stick to the issues,
there's an expression. You can't get water from an empty well. You can't get water from an empty well. This is the nature of our politics. You do things in fits and starts. It's only in a country like Nigeria that you have a huge fiscal policy on the eve of an election. You starve people of their funds, do not care about their mood or whether they're in penury or not, and you impose an election on them.